We have been taught since 1859, since Darwin released his book, The Origin of Species, that we are the product of a long evolutionary journey that happened through these mutations, random mutations. When the mutations serve us, we keep them, and when we don't, we discard them. But the evidence no longer supports this. The DNA no longer supports this. I'm just going to cut to the chase right here. Humans, modern humans, us, we showed up on this earth 200,000 years ago. We do not know how or where or why we showed up. There appears to be no evolutionary path leading to our appearance. We showed up intact with everything that we have today. We showed up all of a sudden with a 50% larger brain size than the nearest primate, an advanced nervous system, an advanced ability for language, advanced ability for digital access to our world, opposing thumbs and forefingers. And here's the key. We showed up with access, the ability to intentionally access an extended neural network in a way that no other form of life has. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean to you and me? That's where we're going here. Extended neural network. In 1991, scientists discovered in the human heart 40,000 specialized cells. They're called sensory neurites. They are specialized cells that are essentially brain-like cells, but they're not in the brain in our head. They're in our heart. And there's such a concentration of them that they're actually called the little brain in the heart. Here's why this is important. These sensory neurites, only discovered in 91, published in 94. I mean, this is how recent this information is. These specialized cells, they think independently of the neurons in our brain. These specialized cells in our heart, they remember independently of the brain in our head. They learn independently of the brain in our head. Okay, so we've all learned to think and feel and remember through our cranial brain. What about our heart? Do you know how to access the language of your heart so that you can tap your heart's wisdom, your heart's intuition? Do you know what that language is? This is where the beauty of these discoveries come together. Because when I was in school, I was taught that the brain is the master organ of the body, and I think probably you were taught the same thing. And the brain certainly is important. But what we now know is that the brain receives many of the instructions that tell it what to do from the heart. So the heart is sending signals to the brain, and the brain then is responding to these signals. This is where it gets really, really interesting, because what we now know is that we can function with the brain. We can think and learn and remember from our brain only. There are some cultures and some traditions that have learned to do just the opposite. From the time they're born, they think, learn, and remember. They interpret the outside world through their hearts as children. Then they begin to learn to interpret the world through their brain. Here's where we benefit from both of these. We can harmonize our heart and our brain together. We can tune the nervous system in our heart and our brain, between our heart and our brain. We can tune the sensory neurites in our heart to the neurons in our brain. So we're talking about two organs. I'll be very clear. Two organs, one powerful, potent neural network. And when we do this, when we tune our heart and our brain together, two organs, a single potent neural network, we open the door to the extraordinary experiences that we've read about from the monks and the nuns and the abbots and the shamans and the ancient and the indigenous traditions. The experiences that often were considered mystical, only experienced by special people with special abilities. Now we know that's not true.